A little over 2 months ago, before all of this lockdown nonsense began, two individuals of questionable sanity got together to collectively lift the weight of a tank. It was for a good cause, and this is how it went down.
Let's lift a tank for charity. What a bonny idea. The idea behind this challenge was straightforward. I was planning on shaving a beard that I'd grown for a little over a year in order to raise funds for a charity, but felt this was far too easy. I like lifting weights, and I've always liked tanks, owing to my granddad serving as a tank driver in the Guards Armoured in World War II. And frankly, tanks are cool. They're big, they're armoured, and they're shooty. What's not to love? Couple this with some time spent visiting the Armoured Corps in Bovington, and I thought that lifting the weight of a tank would be a fun challenge. It's quite fitting now that the British main battle tank is named Challenger. He who dares and all that. The charity I had chosen was the Lee Rigby Foundation, which provides bereavement support for military families that have lost loved ones through service and at home, as well as mental health support for those who still fight in battles we ourselves cannot see. I also had the pleasure of knowing Courtney Rigby, which is how I came to learn of the charity. To this end, I asked my good chum Ben to join me on this questionably smart endeavour, as we frequently enjoy working out / torturing one another, and the week before this I'd be assisting him on a charity challenge of his own, which was cycling 500 kilometres in one day. This essentially is going from home in Stoke to Paris in under 13 hours, so a reciprocity would be in order, and retribution for my frankly devastated arse cheeks. The first consideration was how exactly this could be achieved. Sadly, I am not a superhero, I'm merely human, so picking up a tank was out of the question, no matter how many times I watch Man of Steel. From this, 1000 seemed to be a good round number for repetitions, and a Challenger 2 weighs around 75 tons, or 75,000 kilograms. This broke itself down into 1000 repetitions of 75 kilos. Sorted. Now the numbers were sussed, creating a game plan was the next order of business. Going into this, I knew I wanted to split the effort between the three big lifts.
Do it! Do it! Come on, kill me, I'm here! Come on, do it now, kill me!
Those being the squat, the deadlift, and the bench press. Originally, a German-style 10x10 method was tried, as after the end we'd have 300 reps in the bag and planned to split the remaining 200 between the lifts we felt less fatigued on. This worked to a point, although after squatting and deadlifting the 100 reps each, we found we were fatigued for the bench despite not involving the chest or triceps. From this, a rough adherence to a 5x10 routine was tried, going through each movement as one big triple set, so we'd squat, we'd deadlift, we'd bench, we'd rest a minute and we'd repeat. We found this to be much more effective from a fatigue management and injury prevention point of view, as we were kept active. Whilst we were cycling between the lifts, the rest of the body had a chance to engage in active recovery, and we avoided cramping or getting stiff. Another consideration was supplementation. 75 kilograms was well within our limits regarding the lifts. However, 1000 reps is a huge amount of volume, so we would inevitably be running on fumes towards the end and likely bargaining away parts of our souls to, finish the challenge essentially. Supplements like BCAAs or branched chain amino acids and intra-workout carbohydrate powders tend to get a bad rap in the fitness industry as placebo or unneeded. However, if there was a chance they would give some benefit, then we would consider them. At the very least, water that tastes like fruit punch or sweet tea tends to go down a lot easier than normal water, so keeping hydrated was made easier. Another main concern was having a suitable build-up to this challenge, secondary to the plan of attack. Ben and I had some pretty respectable PRs in the big three before COVID-19, but again, volume is a different game entirely. So we had a comprehensive workup plan, which put a large amount of focus on the secondary muscles. This was to mitigate any risks of injury, to supporting muscles fatiguing before the prime movers, and to ensure we could keep good form throughout, further avoiding injury. On top of this, focus was paid to the warm-up and cooldown phases to aid recovery, as both of us have lives outside of training, which may come as a surprise to many. Walking like John Wayne and having to sit gingerly on a toilet to prevent whimpering too much was fun for the 4 days post-challenge, but due to the warming up and cooling down properly we're focused on, and specific focus on mobility and flexibility, the DOMS, or delayed onset muscle soreness, was manageable. And in the name of those who fight battles against an invisible enemy today, little by little, rep by dirty rep, we took this down. In addition to this, some previous impingements, for an example would be my right shoulder having a little bit of rotation issue, were solved along the way, which made squatting much easier and much more comfortable, and is a benefit I feel to this day 6 months on. Happy days.
Two hours later.
I'd like to mention some acknowledgements here, and in no particular order. I'd like to thank my partner in crime, Ben Cardle, for always being up for something mental and his advice both around the challenge and in general. I'd like to thank Gary Hackett for handling the cameras and being a good source of morale when the ouchies and boo-boo set in halfway through. I'd also like to thank Andy Parker and the staff of Strength Asylum in Stoke for letting us hog a squat rack and film. I'd like to thank everyone who donated, and I'd especially like to thank Lynn and the staff at the Lee Rigby Foundation for the frankly amazing and compassionate work they do for Britain's finest and their families. I think we did pretty well on the challenge. I'd like to do it again purely to get it under 1 hour and a half, but that's for the future. Who knows? So there we have it. 75 kilograms, 1,000 reps, and a bloody good cause to suffer for.
That, kids, is how you lift the tank.